Hey everyone, this is Prime and welcome back. Today's episode we'll be talking about the one, the only, well, not the only robots from the 80s, the challenge of the GoBots and the history and the toys. And today I'm going to be talking about a bit of the history, the cartoon a little bit, the toys, some variation, and I'm going to be talking about 5 different GoBots that either I've inherited from my brother or there's the odd one that I found when I was thrifting. And so just want to talk a bit about it, and this will be part 1 of 2 episodes. GoBots was a toy line produced for North America from the year 1983 to 1987. In North America, they were produced by Tonka. GoBots was based off of the figures by Poppy of Japan, which is a character-driven division, now defunct, of Bandai. The toys in Japan, instead of being called GoBots, was called Machine Robo. And in Europe, they were called Robo Machines. And in Australia, the toy line was called Machine Men. In Europe, Robo Machines had a animated anime TV series as well, which took more of a darker tone than the lighthearted GoBots from North America, made by Hanna-Barbera. A fun fact about GoBots, compared to Transformers, was that GoBots weren't known to have a lot of accessories like Transformers did. Actually, in the show, a lot of times when they had to, they were fighting somebody and they shot out lasers, they actually shot them out of their hands. They didn't really use guns at all. There's the odd one that did. Similar to Transformers, which actually GoBots aired 1 year before Transformers. GoBots was 1983 in North America, and Transformers first aired in 1984. They both transform from robots into different vehicles based off of the toy lines in Japan, which was brought into North America. In this case, GoBots was produced by Tonka, and Transformers was produced by Hasbro in North America. Just like Transformers, GoBots had 2 factions. Instead of the Autobots and Decepticons, the GoBots had the Guardians, which were like the Autobots, and the Renegades, which were like the Decepticons of the Transformers, but GoBots. In the original packaging, before they could decide on if they were gonna call them Guardians and Renegades, on the toy box, they were just called Friendly or Enemy. As mentioned previously, the GoBots was produced in 1983 for the toy line by Tonka in North America. But in 1984, they produced a TV series where they worked with Hanna-Barbera, best known for the Flintstones and Scooby-Doo and the Jetsons. So they decided to get into the robot phase, fandom, right? And they created the GoBots, the Challenge of the GoBots TV series, which aired in 1984 to 1985, and from the popularity spawned a animated movie in 1986, which also was the same year that the Transformers had their animated movie that came out. But the GoBots movie was called GoBots: Battle of the Rock Lords. Initially in 1983, Tonka found huge success in the robot toy business. Before the Transformers came out, they had the market basically in North America, and then when Transformers came out, they took the popularity away from GoBots, and GoBots were then looked upon as a cheap version of Transformers, which the toy line ended in 1987, as I discussed previously. In 1991, Hasbro acquired the rights to GoBots after purchasing Tonka, and then Hasbro brought in the GoBots mythology into the Transformers mythology as an alternate take, an alternate universe. And once in a while on some of the shows you could see in the background, or depending on the story, the odd GoBot there. Just to be clear, when I mentioned that Hasbro bought the rights to GoBots when they took over Tonka, it was only the fictional side of the GoBots. The actual toy line was still owned by Bandai. Even though it was in North America, Bandai still reclaims the rights to the actual physical toys. So they won't be able to, Hasbro won't be able to resell the toys as they look from the original toy line without making changes to them, right? In the early 90s, when Hasbro brought back the Transformers into stores in North America with their G2 or Generation 2 toy line, part of the toy line, they brought back the name of GoBots as one of the toy lines in G2, but just by name only. None of the toys actually look like the original GoBots from the 80s.
What are you guys doing here? It's me, Leader 1 from the Challenge of the GoBots. Remember?
Challenge of the GoBots? Never even heard of that. What's that?
I remember our show.
Actually, our show came out before your show did, so that makes you guys the rip-offs.
All right. Yeah, how's that working out for you?
The show got canceled like 20-something years ago, but me
Right.
personally, I'm doing great. I just...
Yeah, that's fascinating. Did you see our movie?
Now on to the first of 5 GoBots I'm going to be talking about today. The first one is Pathfinder. She is a guardian, a heroic guardian, and she just transformed into a UFO flying spaceship, flying saucer basically. A little bit about the character, Warpath. She, like I said, is a guardian, and she's loyal to Leader 1. Leader 1 is the leader of the Guardians, similar to Optimus Prime being the leader of the Autobots. Warpath is known to be one of the most capable Guardians on the team, having lots of different skills, including being compassionate, intelligence, courage. If you look at Tonka's 1984 catalog, in the catalog, it actually tells how they came up with the name of Warpath for her, as she is an undercover agent who specializes in building devices and tracking the evil Renegades. Warpath did make it onto the Challenge of the GoBots TV series, and in the TV series, Warpath was voiced by Marilyn Stone.
What could be causing this?
So Warpath, I did not know she was female. When I inherited the toy from my brother, I just assumed that, you know, all the GoBots were guys. I didn't, I knew of one GoBot that was female. Her name was Crasher. She was a Renegade. I remember seeing her on the brief episode on a show. She was one of the main characters. She was second in command to Psykill, kind of like Starscream was to Megatron. She doesn't really have any female features on the toy. But yeah, so she, for being from 1984, she's in, I would say, good shape for a GoBot. A couple things so I should tell you. Her head flips over a lot, right? For displaying purposes, I have to put a tie around her legs so she can actually stand on display. I do have her on display normally on the shelf here. But she's actually kind of higher up off the screen. I do have another third level of display toys there to display, right? And yeah, she has wheels on the back where she can, I guess she can, like, when she's in vehicle mode, she can just drive, I guess. I mean, she is a flying saucer, so, which now I will show you how to transform. So basically, flip the toy up like this, move the head in, it won't stay because it's loose. Move these arms down. You want to move the legs in, like that. Flip it over, and then move the leg, move the arm down, leg in like that. And then you want to move the arms up like this, and then voila, she's in spaceship mode. If you can tell, it's a flying saucer. See? I went on eBay to see how much she was going for, and the lowest I could find was $4.99 US, and then the most expensive I could find was $199.99. The next GoBot that's flying in to this video is Spay-C. Spay-C, she is a female guardian. She's loyal to Leader 1. And fun fact, in the comics, apparently they messed up her gender and she's male in the comics, but in the TV show and the toys, she's female, apparently. When I got the toy, I had no idea at all. Like, just by looking at the toy, I thought she was male. A little bit about Spay-C. She is a guardian and loyal to Leader 1. She actually works off of, not on Earth or on Gobotron most of the time, but on one of Gobotron's moons called the Spa Moon, and she has a desk that she works out of. Spay-C was voiced by Laurel Page on the animated series Challenge of the GoBots. Spay-C was originally released in the original series of the toy line in 1983, and then in 1984 she had a re-release as a Super GoBot, a bigger spaceship basically. And she had similar releases for in Europe and also in Australia as well. In 1993, Bandai re-released Spay-C in Europe as Shuttle, a re-release of the toy, but improvements in one aspect, that it looked cooler, it looked different, but unfortunately, if you have one of them now, they could be moldy, as the quality of the toy wasn't that great of the material that they used back then. So a little bit about the toy. Like the others, I inherited this from my brother. And I mean, for being from 1984, she's in good shape. Well, kind of good shape. She has all the parts. She's not broken. She's just missing, like, if you look at the front of her, the chest there, the paint's all kind of worn off. It should be more white, and it needs a bit of cleaning, but still functional, still good. I gotta say, still good. And to transform her, it's pretty simple. You move the shuttle, the top part of the shuttle, around so you don't see her face, and then you grab her arms and push them in like that. Flip it over and move her legs in, and voila, she is in spaceship mode. Now, when I was on eBay, I decided to also take a look on how cheap or how expensive she'd be going right now. And the cheapest I could find was the GoBot version of her, and the price was $5 US. And the most expensive I could find was the European version of her at the high price of $139.99.
They appear to be mighty robots, but you change them into mighty vehicles, GoBots and Super GoBots, each sold separately.
GoBots, 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 mighty robots, mighty vehicles, GoBots.
The next GoBot swimming in to number 3 is Dive Dive. Dive Dive is also a guardian, and he's always known to be the person that's always eager to help out, always wants to volunteer to get the job done. You can always rely on him. One thing about GoBots, especially the Guardians, but I believe it's for both Guardians and Renegades, they got their forms from something called the Modifier. And the Modifier is on the planet Gobatron, which is their home world, similar to Cybertron for the Transformers, right? The Modifier is responsible for giving the modes to different GoBots, Renegades, or Guardians. Currently, if you travel to Gobatron, you would find the Modifier in possession of the Guardians. It's a tool, it's not a sentient being, but a tool that they use to pick the forms of each GoBot so they can transform. Unfortunately, the Modifier messed up when Dive Dive was getting his mode, as it gave him the mode of a army submarine. Now, a lot of times he stays on Gobatron, which sucks because there's no water on Gobatron. So if he transforms into a submarine on Gobatron, he can't go anywhere. He's stuck there. It's mainly when he comes to Earth, when he transforms into submarine, when he goes into water. When he does go into water, he's pretty fast. You don't want to mess with him when he's in water. On Challenge of the GoBots TV series, he is voiced by Mark Taylor. Dive Dive was originally released in 1984 in the second series of the GoBots in North America, but some areas in Canada, mainly more Quebec, where it was bilingual, he was re-released with the name Prolongion. I may have messed that up. I apologize. I think that's French, but you can see the name on the screen. When Dive Dive was released in 1984 in Europe and Japan, he wasn't actually this color. He wasn't blue or black. He was gray. In 1983, in the Australian market for Machine Men, Dive Dive was released as the Submarine Man. And then in 1994, he was re-released just like this and labeled Dive Dive. So when I was looking on eBay, the cheapest I could find Dive Dive was $5, and it was the Bandai Robo Machine version. And on eBay, the most expensive I could find him was $225 US, and this was the North American GoBot version of the character. So a little bit about the toy, since I got him. It was my brother's. We actually have two different versions, and these are the two. They're exactly the same, just one of the arms are broken off. So I just wanted to show you, I have doubles of him, and it wasn't that I got him in a thrift store. We just had him twice for some reason, maybe because the one was broken. But I mean, he's missing some stickers. The front sticker here is peeling off a little bit. His legs are kind of temperamental, so when you're transforming him, you have to be careful. I mean, he is quite old, from 1984. He transforms into a submarine. And now I'll show you how to transform him. It's pretty simple. A lot of the GoBots are pretty simple. pretty small, right? So his arms here, you just want to move up like this, like that, to form the front of the submarine. And then you turn them around like this. And then you want to move the feet, these feet here, in. And same for this leg as well, like that. And then make sure the wheels are up, and then flip the legs over, like that. And then move them in, and voila, it's in submarine mode.
You can imagine they're from Gobotron, 8 new GoBots, each sold separately. You can pretend Smallfoot, Nightranger, and Dive join the fearless Leader 1 to save the Earth from Psykill's enemy GoBots, Blockhead, Waterwalk, Flytrap, Slicks, and Spoons.
It's gonna be awesome!
Mighty robots, mighty vehicles, GoBots.
Dive, Waterwalk, and Nightranger, each sold separately. New from Tonka.
The next GoBot coming in at number 4 is Nightranger. Nightranger, he transforms into a blue Harley Davidson police motorcycle. He frequently operates and lives on Gobotron as a security officer who sometimes does come to Earth, but mainly on Gobotron. His boss is another police vehicle. His name is Handcuffs. And his boss, Handcuffs, is on the Guardian Council, or the Guardian Security Board, that works with Leader 1 to help promote and protect the citizens of Gobotron. So this toy of Nightranger was actually released in 1984, the second series of the toys in blue in North America. The Robo Machine toy line, though, in 1984 decided to not do blue, but do the white version, which I actually have. The white version. He's not as in good shape, but this is what the white version looks like of him that was in the European markets. I'm not sure how we got him, because we bought him. We got them as kids, and we never been to Europe. So I'm guessing they were also released in Canada as well, as I'm from Canada. Also, later on in the European markets, he was re-released as blue, just like this. In the Australian market, they had two releases of Nightranger. The first release was from 1984, and he was the white version, and they called him Harley Man. The second release was in 1985 in Australia, and it actually was the blue version, and they gave him his appropriate name of Nightranger. In 1993, Bandai decided to re-release Nightranger back into the Great Britain market as white, and they gave him the name of Motobike, but in Italy, they gave him the name Moto. These two toys, we both got them. My brother had them, and then I inherited them. Like I said before, this was the original version. This was like more the European version. I'm guessing they were available in Canada too, because, well, we never been to Europe, so it had to be in Canada as well. This version is in really bad shape. Not sure about the mold part, but the coloration, he's supposed to be white and he's kind of turning kind of brown. He's missing his arms as well, and you can't really stand him up or he'll fall over because of his legs. And the blue one, he's in better shape than the white one. He can stand up, but he's also missing one of his arms. There's one of his arms right here, but it's missing the other, like goes right there. So I will show you how he transforms. Pretty simple, though I am missing his arm. So let's start with his arm. So his one arm here is the seat of the motorcycle. So it just goes in like that. And then his legs are the back of the motorcycle. So I'm not sure how many people here are bikers or not, or like Harleys or not. Obviously, they're the wrong color for Harleys, but it's supposed to have been a Harley Davidson. Yeah, that's the bio anyway. And so anyway, so you move the legs up like this, right? And then fold it in. And then it's supposed to snap here, like so. And if I had the other arm, I'd do the same in there. And voila. Don't really have to do much with the bike, with the wheel. I guess you can move it out like that. But yeah, motorcycle mode. You can move that up there, but yeah. When looking on eBay for Nightranger, the cheapest I could find was $10.80 US if it wasn't broken. And I wasn't able to determine if it was Tonka or Bandai. And the most expensive one I could find on eBay was $150 in the package made by Tonka. And the last GoBot coming in like an emergency, Pumper, the red fire truck. Pumper, like all the other GoBots, is a guardian. He has a twin brother named Dumper, who is a dump truck, an orange dump truck. They have been known as being brothers. When they join forces, they become an unstoppable detective team for the Guardians. Pumper has been known, because he's a fire truck, he's always there on the scene to put out any fires, and he's also known to pump lots of iron because his name is Pumper. In 1983, in North America, Pumper was released as part of the Fires series of the GoBot toy line, which he also came with the fire truck ladder, and that he actually used that as his accessory or weapon when he's in robot mode. So he doesn't just use his hands to shoot, but he actually uses that as a weapon. We did have him in toy, like that part, and but I'm not sure where it is. In the European Machine Robo toy line, when he was released as Fire Robo, not Pumper. Pumper was never released in Australia for Machine Men. So like all the other GoBots that I talked about today, he was also inherited from my brother. And he's in okay shape. I know, like, he's from 1983. His paint is kind of wearing off on the legs there. His head keeps falling in on its own. His legs, if you move his arms to the side, they will go back in on its own. And I'm missing, it's somewhere, the ladder, the fire truck. And I'm missing his wheels, front wheels. So to transform him, he's almost there. His head's already in. You push this arm in, which is already in, and this arm in, and then you push the legs in. And if I had the ladder, it'd go on top, and voila, done. Really simple. Pumper. Well, that's a wrap, guys. Thank you for joining in for part 1. Can't wait to show you part 2 of the GoBots extravaganza. And when you're looking for vintage toys, robotic or non-robotic, that's just prime.